too much. I mean, the babyface change happened suddenly, especially when he hasn't been on TV for the past couple months. The last thing he did was team up with AJ, and then that was completely dropped. They didn't even do anything about that. AJ had to mention it on her Twitter that Big E got fired, or that she fired him as a bodyguard. So, I mean, Big E, if it happens to be a surprise win, that would be great. John, what about you?
I do feel that, like Wesley, Big E's going to win, but the gold isn't going to go around his waist because it's going to be a DQ victory. Heyman's going to hit him with a kendo stick.
That's what I meant by my thing. I meant Curtis Axel's gonna keep his belt.
Oh, so by DQ.
Yeah.
Or by, Alright. What do you guys think of the rumors about Big E possibly wrestling Ryback after this whole feud going down?
Well, Mike hates it.
Mike hates it.
Mike will kill himself.
I could see it working out really well, just as long as Ryback, doesn't hurt him somehow.
Yeah. I'd rather see Axel and Langston feud.
I think it would be great. I think it'd be great TV. Could it be for the Intercontinental belt?
Mastodons.
And if it does, what would happen to Curtis Axel?
He dies.
He dies.
Curtis.
I'm gonna have to give the win to Curtis Axel, but I do see things progressing with Big E, with the Paul Heyman family, or just the Heyman family. So yeah, I'll go with Curtis Axel, via shenanigans somehow. I kind of agree with what John said too, on the grounds of maybe Big E will win, but via DQ or a count out. Possibly.
But what that also does is, it feels like Heyman properly hits Langston with a kendo stick, and Heyman and Axel beat down Langston for a while. It makes Langston have sympathy for that character.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, let's move on to the actual pay-per-view card. On SmackDown, it hasn't aired yet. We're spoiling it for you because we're jackasses.
Yay!
Yay!
They announced that the Real Americans will be going 1-on or 2-on-2 against the Los Matadores. The build-up to this feud hasn't really been too prominent if you haven't been watching SmackDown. I felt a lot of more of their interactions have been happening on SmackDown than they have been on Raw. We did see a little bit this week on Raw.
Because Raw, the Real Americans have just been squashing tons of funk every week. Yeah.
So, while it hasn't been too prominent of a feud, it's great that they're kind of that the Los Matadores aren't going to be sitting around for a couple months until they finally get something. That's what I like about this situation. They come into the door, couple weeks in, and they're already thrown into
They hop the border.
They hop the border, and they're straight in.
Border hoppers.
They're straight on their way to Canada. So.
You can't see it, but I'm doing Zeb's fingers.
I thought the interactions with El Torito and Zeb Coulter have been great. I've enjoyed everything that I've seen up to this point. I've felt that these guys can bring a lot of entertainment, a lot of more backbone to the tag team division, which is already being really, put on strong with the Shield and the Usos and the Rhodes family.
Yeah.
So I think this is great. I have no problem with how this feud has been built up. Maybe have them a little bit more interactions earlier in the weeks. It felt like it was very rushed. They weren't too sure when they were going to build them up to this match. They should have done it, a week or two after the Los Matadores came in, but they decided to do a couple series with 3MB.
I still want Heath Slater versus El Torito.
Yes! I'd pay money to see that.
You did. It was Heath Slater versus Hornswoggle.
No.
That's still one of the greatest matches of all time.
Hornswoggle versus El Torito.
So, getting from your guys, who's going to win Real Americans, Los Matadores? Ryan, starting with you again.
Probably Los Matadores.
They'll get over strong?
Yeah,
Do you see this continuing maybe for a couple months?
probably, because I think Zeb's gonna whip El Torito.
Oh, with the slave whip?
Yeah,
Or the quote-unquote bullwhip?
yeah.
We all know what Zeb was really thinking. Where the fuck is Biggie? Jonesy, starting with you, or going on with you.
Yeah, we're just gonna. Those goddamn border hoppers are gonna win by cheating. That's how they always do it. They take our jobs. They take our wins.
This podcast is now sponsored by Zeb Coulter.
Is Strike still dead?
Yep.
No, I'm here.
Alright, Strike. Los Matadores versus the Real Americans.
Give it to the Los Matterhorns.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright.
Mainly because they just debuted and there's no real reason for them not to win.
Alright. Wesley.
Hold on. There we go. Even though I really like We the People, I've got to give it to Los Matadores, not little El Torito.
You do a really good fucking Zeb impression.
How do I follow that? How do I follow that?
There we
John.
go.
I reckon Real Americans are going to win. Because
Ooh.
Zeb's going to distract the Los Matadores by whipping El Torito.
Okay. Question for you guys. A couple weeks ago, some rumors from the dirt sheets came out that they were possibly going to be splitting Antonio Cesaro from the Real Americans and kind of push him towards a babyface turn. They've been showing this via Cesaro doing a lot of the big swing stuff. Is it a good idea now that they're moving forward with the Los Matadores feud to split them up? You know, maybe even after this feud is over. Should they even get the tag team titles before they split?
Bye,
They
Hunter.
Oh, Hunter was he on the call?
Yeah.
No, well, he go fuck himself. Okay. No, but what do you guys think about the whole Real Americans possibly splitting up?
Well, it means Jack Swagger doesn't get to do anything, which I'm happy with.
Oh, you don't like Jack Swagger?
No,
Why not?
he ruined the World Heavyweight Championship belt.
He was booked poorly.
No.
Around that time, that's
was-
when they were fighting. They were trying to figure out who was going to look good with the belt, and he was booked
He
terribly.
botched getting the Money in the Bank Championship down.
I wouldn't say it was Jack Swagger that made it look bad.
Yeah.
I mean, keep in mind, like, Randy Orton and all them were still winning it after that.
Yeah, but everyone you go to that says when the World Heavyweight Championship started to die was his victory.
No.
That's because of poor booking on their
Yeah,
part.
it was poor booking, and WWE
I mean,
stopped caring.
when you had goofy heel Swagger who was like, "Look at all my trophies and look how special I am," like that was when he was. at
I'm
his
very
best.
special.
I'm fake Kirk Angle.
Because he had a character, you know.
Yeah.
He should have kept it. It's like how Del Rio should have kept his I'm money, come out with the
You
fancy
can,
It's my
stuff.
you
destiny.
can see whatever
AKA
character,
Mexican JBL.
you can see whatever
My
character
car was
Swagger had
possessed.
just absolutely leave the second he got that title belt.
Yeah.
Like, he became all super serious. There was nothing special about him.
There wasn't anything appealing towards him.
He was running the mill. He was dull, monotonous.
It would have been cool to see an all-American heel gimmick, because usually when you think of something all-American, very
Kurt Angle.
good guy, top-notch sort of character. Having that turn into more of a heel, you could despise this guy, because how can he be an all-American if I hate him so much? They could have really worked that in, and they could have really made Swagger awesome. But they kept on chopping pieces off of him really much. But back onto the topic, what do you see with Cesaro? Could Real Americans head on to the tag titles, or are they just going to be split after this feud with Los Matadores?
I want them to hold the titles and then get beat and then split. Because they've been, like, they're popular. They're perfect. You know what I mean?
They are over.
And, like, you know, little down the road, they get the World Tag Team titles. They're like, we're fucking awesome. Everybody can kiss our asses. Then some random team comes and beats them. And they get, and like, you know, you make it either like Cesaro or like Swagger hits Cesaro somehow and that causes them to lose the belts. Then that's how you split them.
Well, no, they've been doing like that weird thing where they start celebrating and then like one of them looks weird at the other ones. They start pushing each other when they win their matches.
Yeah.
So maybe the splits.
No, I won.
So that would kind of mean that the split could come as early in like by Survivor Series. Honestly.
Yeah.
They're probably going to have a 3-series feud with Los Matadores. This being the first match, the second match could be coming maybe on Raw somehow.
Probably will. It's Raw.
And then it'll lead to one last match in Survivor Series. That's gonna suck. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Los Matadores. Keep them strong. Give Real Americans a win on Raw, and then go on for a pay-per-view match.
Yeah.
Yep.
Seems plain and simple enough. Goldust and Cody Rhodes, the current World Tag Team Champions, or WWE Tag Team Champions, the World Tag Team Champions, the ones that actually have the history and shit, aren't even fucking part of the company anymore, versus The Shield versus the Usos. Build up to this match comes two ways. The Usos have won a couple victories over the Real Americans, over Tons of Funk, over a couple other of the tag teams, so they were given the opportunity, a number one contender shot for the WWE Tag Team Championships. And it was on this week's episode of Raw, where they had to go against the Shield in order to solidify their number one contender shot. They already had a number one contender shot, but the Authority, what they're calling the corporation now, said that they had to beat the Shield if they were going to face off against Cody Rhodes and Goldust at the pay-per-view. But that didn't really end up the way they wanted to. The match ended in a no contest due to Rhodes and Goldust attacking and taunting Dean Ambrose. All three of the teams were inserted, making a triple threat match by Triple H. So now, the Usos who've been going after the tag belts for, I think, since early August, right? Is when they got their big push.
Yeah.
That seems right around there. The Shield, who's looking to gain their championships back, and Cody Rhodes and Goldust, who are easily two of the most over guys in the company right now because of their excellent booking for that spot. Who's gonna win this match? Who's gonna come up on top? Ryan, starting with you again.
Goldust and Cody Rhodes, because why would they give them their own tag team theme?
Yeah.
They're gonna make them lose the next week.
Because WWE.
This isn't TNA.
Jonesy.
Alright, what are the three teams again? Just to make sure.
The Rhodes family, the Shield, and the Usos.
I'm just gonna say the Rhodes, yeah.
The Rhodes. Very safe bet, I think, right there. They're really over. Why would you even attempt to hurt it? Wesley.
Well, I'm obviously, I gotta go with the Rhodes Dynasty. That's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very safe bet, yeah. And
Pretty
John.
much.
I'm gonna go for the really unsafe bet. I'm gonna go for the Usos.
What?
The Shield are gonna get Cody and Goldust beaten to a pulp, and then one of the Usos tags in because I know how tag team triple threat matches work, and I hate it. And then the Usos just gets the victory, and then gets beaten down by the Shield.
You know what's really interesting about that?
What?
The December pay-per-view.
Yeah.
TLC.
Yeah.
Why not go into that with a really strong triple threat TLC match?
Yes, that was in my head all the way through that.
And what's even more funnier is that this is kind of going a little off topic, but this kind of reminds me a lot like a feud I came up with a while ago. But besides of Goldust and Cody Rhodes, it was the Wyatt family. And the Usos were the one that were keeping the Wyatt family and the Shield going after each other.
Yeah.
This is something I came up with a while ago. But that's a really good prediction. And I would love to keep the Usos strong enough to at least lead to a triple threat tag team match.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt the Rhodes family because the Shield can destroy anyone. It doesn't matter
Have
what
them do
your
a
name
bunch
is,
of
the Shield's going to kill
flippy
you.
shit, but have Roman Reigns spear him in one of the flippy things.
Yeah.
It's a big risk, but it seems like it would be a good risk for WWE to take. Goldust and Cody Rhodes are already very solidified in WWE right now. It's not that taking the belts away with them would hurt them, because as long as you keep their booking strong, like they have been in the past couple, weeks to months now, doing that sort of edgy, very risky title change and feud, and leading up to a really big payoff from 2 months from now, I think would be better for business than anything else.
Yeah.
Better for business.
Well, I can also see that
It's best for business.
that triple threat TLC match becoming a fatal 4-way tag TLC match.
Yeah.
And the Wyatt family will get involved.
Yeah. Gimme.
Because Ray will probably be like, why don't we take some belts to show what power we actually have? So he sends Luke Harper and Eric Rowan after the Usos, and then that's how it all starts.
The only thing why I don't think it's going to happen is because Kane's coming back soon. And from what I'm hearing, and I'm agreeing with you so much at this point, while I'd rather see Wyatt be more of a manager and allow Harper and Rowan to do a lot of the fighting for Wyatt, we are probably going to get another Wyatt versus Kane match at Survivor Series.
Well, see,
Buried alive.
This is another problem, is that obviously Bray Wyatt's current feud is with everyone who stood up against Triple H, it seems like.
Yeah.
Usos were part of that, so were Cody Rhodes and Goldust. And at some point, if the Shield, split from the corporation, they'll probably go after them as well.
Yeah. WWE's in a really tough situation. But, from the ways they've been approaching a lot of these feuds, they're playing it safe, but they're playing it safe in a good way.
Yeah.
And so, it would be cool to see them do a couple risks as long as they're playing it safe.
Yeah.
Because they're, playing it safe, meaning, they have something planned in a month or two from now. That's going to lead up to something a lot bigger than you were, let's say if you're just following what you were regularly doing.
Yeah.
So, hopefully WWE will play some risky games going on forward. We'll see. AJ Lee versus Brie. This feud's kind of been going on since Night of Champions when they had the Fatal 4-Way match of AJ Lee, Naomi, Brie, and I can't remember the other one. Who was the other one?
Naomi and Natalya.
Oh, yeah, Natalya. Because she completely disappeared off of TV.
Because she
And
can't wrestle anymore.
No.
Yep.
So, now we get AJ Lee and Brie. Brie lost the last match, which was at Battleground. Then it was reported by the dirt sheets that officials were very surprised that she wasn't getting the reactions that they were hoping for. And when you do a face turn so unnaturally and trying to get her over as Daniel Bryan's fiance as the reason why you should cheer for her really hurts her.
Well, was it they didn't do it was a weird face turn, like, when he was about to go fight the Shield in whatever that was, which was, like, the handicap match.
Yeah.
She came out and hugged him.
Yeah. It was a random backstage thing. Was it before or after they announced on Raw that Bryan got engaged?
It was before.
Was it before?
Yeah.
So it started with the hug.
It was like a week and a half before they even announced that.
Yeah. And the only other time, they were ever, together would be on Total Divas. They never really appeared on WTV in any way with each other. And then you have the announcement about, Daniel Bryan and Brie are engaged. And then they just started forcing it. It felt very forced from then on going forward. For someone who has Nikki by her side, and Nikki has a lot more charisma than Brie, even though both of them sound like men. Both of them have no talent. They're terrible actors. Nikki still felt like a natural heel. She seemed like a bitch. She was a bitch. So she still, when you look at her on TV, she's like, oh, Nikki's a bitch. And then you look at Brie, he's like, oh, Brie's a bitch too, but I gotta like her because she's a fiance of Daniel Bryan. And that seems very forced. And this is what I was afraid of with Total Divas. Total Divas is gonna bring a lot of these relationships onto legitimate TV. I think this is why CM Punk won't fucking mention anything about dating AJ, even if those rumors are true.
Yeah.
They could be false, but if they're true, I can understand why CM Punk wants no mention of him and AJ dating, because if that suddenly became relevant and people knew they were dating, WWE would use that as an opportunity to bring that to TV, even to bring that to Total Divas. And I think that's something that people are trying to avoid now. So when you have this inner workings of people, trying to avoid the content that's being brought onto by WWE, you get a very weird and negative feel in the backstage, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So, this whole problem with Brie, it's very unnatural. She's not getting over with the fans. I do feel that, some of the fans are buying into it. You do sometimes hear the chants for Brie, during a Raw match or during a SmackDown match, but that's usually because, Brie's stuck in a fucking headlock and people want to cheer for something. And WWE is telling them, cheer for Brie. Well, I don't want to fucking cheer for Brie, but if you want to fucking continue this match, I guess I have to cheer for Brie. Or else they're just going to be in a headlock for 2 minutes and no one's doing jack shit. It looks bad on TV. And
it's a Randy Orton match.
Yeah, it's a Randy Orton match. People are trying to move along the match, so they have to cheer for the person they don't want to cheer for. It's idiotic.
Yeah,
Well, there's something else to add to how Nikki seems natural. Like, they had the tag team match on Raw. Brie and Nikki win. And then after the match, they start taunting AJ into meaning of the loser sign. That's not something a face would do.
Yeah.
It feels like they haven't quite got the memo that they're supposed to be faces.
Oh yeah. It's what they're, sometimes what Triple H would do. Sometimes Triple H, he would come off as a face on TV when he should be a legitimate, heel. He's he's the guy who's in charge, who's trying to screw over people. But then you would have those weird random segments where Triple H is giving a superstar sympathy.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to show any sympathy towards anyone.
No sympathy for you.
Not even to the people who are associated with you. I feel like they don't have a full grasp on, the characters, and they're still flip-flopping. They're being very safe. Like, if they need to turn someone on a dime, they have that ability to turn them. And they don't want to go full heel, then realize, oh shit, no one's buying this. We have to turn them face now. So WWE is playing very safe moving forward with a lot of these feuds. But let's get to the predictions. AJ Lee versus Brie, Divas Championship. Ryan.
Well, I think Lady Toppings and Gail Kim are gonna beat Brie Bella.
Lady topic.
Lady Top. Okay.
I'm only gonna that from now on.
Oh man. Jonesy.
How long has AJ been champion?
She has been champion.
check.
Damn. June? I'm guessing?
May.
May.
May. So
Yeah,
that's
there we go.
And Caitlin's been dead since
5
then.
months?
Pretty much.
Let's
Hey,
say 5 months.
AJ, or, sorry, not AJ, Kaylin is a brunette now. And may I say, my balls got a little tinglier now looking at her. She looks hot as a brunette. I'm just...
She looks a lot better.
She has a shitload of hair.
Like, her face doesn't look as fake.
Yeah.
Usually when I looked at her, like I saw the lip implants. Her face was looked Botoxy, but with the natural brunette hair, very sexy.
Yep.
Gotta bring
Lee.
that shit on TV again.
Yep.
AJ Lee won the title on June 16th, which is 129 days.
Yep, June.
I thought Payback was May for some reason.
Which is terrible too, because people are still cheering for AJ.
No, because WWE is asking, do you want us to make you cheer for her, or do you want us to make you boo her?
That was weird. That was a weird poll that they had on WWE. If people listening to the podcast don't know, they put a poll on WWE asking, do you rather cheer for AJ or would you rather boo, essentially? And the bullet points were like, her cheering was a lot longer than her booing choice.
I can read you the options right now.
Okay, yeah. Say them, John.
Okay, so cheered. She's an example of perseverance, hard work, individuality, and empowerment for the underdog. Booed. She's pure evil and needs to be stopped.
It's weird. The way that's written, it's
like they're trying to tell us something.
It's like they know AJ is supposed to be the person right now, but the only reason why she's not is because they have to go by the fact that Brie is dating Daniel Bryan. Well, it's stupid.
There's no faces in the women's division.
Yeah, it sucks right now. It really... This is why they need to bring up people like Emma and Paige from NXT. They're gonna bring I think a cleaner slate for the Divas division moving forward.
Do you want me to
Bring
tell
back
you?
Stacy Keibler, thumbs up if you agree.
Do you want me to tell you the results of the poll so far?
Yeah, sure. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna
94% for cheered.
What?
94% for cheered.
94? Oh, last time I checked it was like 96.
Yeah, more. It's gone up to 6% for booed. And this is how many people have currently voted. 10,000.
Holy shit!
107,000?
107,000 people. Gee,
You have to realise, Greg, you have to realise that it's like 99,000 people have gone. Yeah, we should be cheering AJ.
Here's the thing. Sometimes these polls have been rigged. I've seen it before where people would
Every Raw.
they would script it and they would, throw a bunch of votes one way. People have those stupid programs and they could rig these polls however they want.
This one doesn't feel that way, though.
It doesn't feel that way, exactly.
Because there's no point, because it's not really going to change anything. Why would you want to rig it?
Yeah.
Who wants to cheer for AJ?
I think it's a very...
Like that right butt.
And sometimes big corporations don't even look at these polls. I hope WWE has a very keen eye on these polls.
I think Joey Styles studies them.
We'll see. Okay. Who do we leave off with? Wesley?
Hold on. Time out.
Did I say who I picked?
Did you?
No.
I thought. Well, yeah. Josie.
I'll just go with AJ.
AJ.
Yeah.
She'll retain. Wesley.
I'm gonna go with AJ. I really, really hope that they don't give it to Brie. I'll just
It's gonna hurt the title bad, I think.
Oh yeah, it's gonna burn it. That's what it's gonna do.
It's gonna hurt. No, Brie has no momentum behind her. Going forward, I can't see her doing anything with it.
She's riding Brian's coattails.
The only
Yep.
reason why the only reason why they would want to put the title on Brie is so that Brie can come out with Daniel Bryan.
Power
Like
couple.
Bryan's holding the WWE Championship.
Counterpart.
Only reason.
They're the power couple. Yes, exactly.
John.
I really don't want to say this, but Brie's gonna win.
Brie.
Yeah.
Oh
As
my
much as I
god.
don't want to say it, Brie's gonna win. I'm gonna have to watch. I don't like Brie, and I don't particularly like Brian when he talks now. It's that, like, my problem with Brian, I'll say when we get to the Randy Orton Brian match.
Okay. I'm just gonna give AJ credit. I'm gonna pick AJ because I feel that I'm going to jinx it. I want to give WWE Creative the benefit of the doubt of realizing last minute, because Battleground, they didn't decide on that, apparently they didn't decide on that finish of the match until last minute. So, while
We decided it just to mess up that stupid Dolphins kid.
So
Fuck that guy.
I'm thinking WWE is looking at this and saying, Brie isn't getting over. She's not getting any momentum behind her. So, we're just going to have to give it to AJ because she's the only safe bet that we have. And I'm hoping that it will happen again. Because if it doesn't happen again, then we're stuck with Brie with the Divas title until Survivor Series, in which I'm hoping AJ would win it back again. But then that would mean we just have this match, 3 times now?
See,
Tell you what.
that's. Oh, go ahead, John.
I'll tell you what I really want to come out of this. I want AJ to win. I want AJ to be beating down Brie and Nikki with Tamina. Out comes Caitlyn for the save. Let's give Caitlyn some reason to support her, because her last feud with AJ was... Well, I don't understand why that had to happen. Why didn't you just do something else?
Yeah, I feel maybe Caitlyn would be a better fit with AJ rather than Tamina, just because I think Caitlyn and AJ have better chemistry because they're already best friends. Imagine what promos they could cut. If they could go back and forth with each other. I feel that was one of the things that they couldn't get out of their first feud. They didn't really have any time to go after each other.
I just like watching AJ get speared.
Oh, because she fucking ragdolls it like crazy.
Dude, she freaking ragdolls like a boss.
Oh man, she does it like Ziggler style.
I have a relevant gif to that. I'm gonna find it now.
So yeah, we'll just move on.
Hold on. Shit, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Damn, was it?
Okay. I got it. We're good. It's like what you were saying, Greg. I hope that WWE looks at this. They're like, holy shit, it's like AJ Lee this, AJ Lee that. Fucking AJ Lee hit me with a wiffle ball bat. She's fucking gold.
No, she is, and look at everything that's behind AJ. She actually has merchandise.
Yeah.
She has merch.
She's
Why would you hurt that?
People.
People are buying her shit. She is the only diva that has shit behind her.
Yeah.
She's got shit.
When was the last time a diva had a legitimate t-shirt?
Trish Stratus.
Kelly didn't even have a legitimate t-shirt that she came out to and wore to promote so people can buy. AJ fucking brought that back for the divas because she was over as fuck and she was unique. It's hard. I don't know. Vince better not be a fucking idiot.
AJ Lee's also currently one of the featured merchandise sellers, so she must be selling well as well.
Oh, yeah. I can't imagine her selling anything terrible. I can't imagine those numbers being low or non-existent. I see on Twitter all the time, she retweets everybody who buys her shit.
Yeah.
It's there.
Even if it's
relevant. Oh, yeah, I see some weird people buying, like, the fucking AJ Lee pajama shorts.
Love bites.
Yeah, it's like, come on, bro.
I'm getting a bit sad now.
So yeah, let's move on. CM Punk versus Ryback and Paul Heyman in a handicap Hell in a Cell match. What else is there to say about the build-up? The build-up has been there since last year, since Heyman and Punk joined forces. They broke up, and that's all Punk's been going after was Heyman. He stayed away he stayed away from the WWE Championship image, and it's being reported that Punk will be taking some time off after this feud. So that being kind of obvious, what's your take on who's going to win this second Hell in a Cell match between Punk and Ryback? With
Ryback. And Mike's
Ryback.
gonna cry.
And Mike's gonna cry.
It's cry.
Jonesy.
I think Punk will win, but he'll be like laid out, dead in the middle of the ring.
All right. Wesley.
Basically the same as Jonesy. Punk's gonna win, but it's gonna look like it took a large toll on him, so he can take that time off.
Okay. And John.
Punk wins, and how he wins, he locks Ryback out the cell.
Okay.
I literally just finished watching the 2009 Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, and that's what Legacy did to DX, so I can see Punk going, that's smart. It's happened to me before as well, because Del Rio locked Cena out the cell. So why don't I do this to get Heyman on his own? Because then Ryback isn't going to do shit.
Yeah.
And getting in there without bolt cutters.
Well, now here's a little idea. Well, first I want to ask the question, what's going to happen to Ryback? Is Ryback going to get hurt because of a loss from CM Punk in a Hell in a Cell?
No.
No.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
The problem is Punk big enough so that if you lose to Punk, you're not exactly getting hurt.
Well, I feel that Punk's big enough to where Ryback can get pretty over from a win over Punk. But I feel that a loss would kind of hurt Ryback, especially his
because
his
the
current
last
track
Hell in a
record.
Cell killed all of Ryback's momentum.
Yeah. And that's what I'm afraid of. I like Ryback. He's entertaining as fuck. Yeah, he's not great in the ring. Fuck you, Mike. But
He's fine in the ring.
he's great to look at. You know, when people look at him.
He figured out how to fight the Goldberg chant by saying, I don't care.
Yeah. But
I didn't care.
he's very smart and he knows what to do. I'm afraid that if he continues to lose, that he'll keep on dropping down an extra notch. And that WWE will continue to try to push him back to where they want him to be.
That's kind of why I don't want to Ryback.
I want big mastodons.
And so, I really don't want Ryback to lose. If Punk would win and get revenge on
destroyed.
What?
What if Punk beats Heyman and Ryback utterly destroys Punk?
I'd be fine with that.
Like, Ryback wasn't the one that got pinned. Ryback then gets revenge for Paul Heyman and he just tosses Punk all around the ring.
No, he locks him out and then he beats the shit out of Heyman. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because I have a theory, but it's a very far-fetched theory. Because, one, Heyman's already introduced Ryback into his sort of family.
Oh my god, that family's so fucking creepy.
But with also Survivor Series is coming up soon. And my theory is...
Team Punk versus Team Heyman?
No. While I want it to happen, and which would be cool, and then give Punk a couple months, 2 months to heal up and then return for the Rumble, in which I'm hoping he's gonna win that.
Me too.
Yes.
Gold Sheamus wins.
I'd love to see Heyman kind of bring up some more NXT guys.
Yes.
Maybe the Ascension? But
Yeah, I
I
don't
could
like
be pushing
those guys.
it. I could be pushing it.
I don't like those guys.
You don't like the Ascension?
No,
Why?
I don't like them.
Just gimmick-wise? What's wrong
Gimmick,
with them?
and I don't like the way they are in the ring.
Oh, okay. I think Rick Victor's really talented. Like, he's super talented when he's by himself. Conor O'Brien, he's a slow guy, but he's improved a lot more than what he used to be. When I first saw him in FCW, he was garbage.
Wait,
But
is Rick Victor Faker Taker?
Faker Taker? You mean the smaller guy with the goatee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like.
He's really talented.
He's nice in the ring, but I just hate your gimmick.
I enjoy him. It's cool. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to go with. It's a tough decision. It depends if Punk's gonna be done after Hell in a Cell or if he's gonna go towards Survivor Series. If he goes towards Survivor Series, I'm giving it to Ryback. No, I'm giving it to Punk. If Punk doesn't return back after Hell in a Cell, I'm giving it to Ryback and Paul Heyman.
Yeah. I just want this feud to kind of either end.
Yeah, I kind of just want it to end.
Yeah.
It's been stretched and stretched and stretched. I'd be fine if it was all leading up to a Team Punk versus Team Heyman. I'd be completely fine with that because I'm guessing we're also going to be getting the Authority versus Team Bryan.
Yeah.
From the looks of it. So it would be nice to have.
Series.
It would be nice to have two of both worlds going at it as Survivor Series. You also have a lot of side matches with the Real Americans and blah 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 blah. So Survivor Series already looks very solid if it's booked that way. But that's all depending on if Punk decides to wrestle for another month. I don't even know when Survivor Series is supposed to happen in next month. Late November?
Right now.
Next week.
Now. It's happening right now.
November 24th. So it's at the very end of next month.
It's like right at Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
That's the point.
Turkey.
Survivor Series was always the
Turkey,
pay-per-view.
football, Survivor Series.
Okay, so we'll move on. Alberto Del Rio versus John Cena. We can make it very quick. Not a lot of build-up. They've been building Cena as kind of the underdog. We've already thrown around the theories that this could be Cena's last hurrah run as a regular competitor. I'm going to make sure that's clear for everybody. A regular competitor in the
I still don't buy it. I don't buy it.
You don't buy it?
Nope.
No.
For wrestling 11 years and for how many injuries Cena currently has, besides the one that he had to get surgery on, Cena's bruised, he's beaten, his bone aches, and so on and so on. He's been wrestling for 10 plus years non-stop. Coming back from, what was it, a neck injury?
Yeah.
All this crap very early. Cena's very worn out. So I think WrestleMania is going to, I feel, now a lot of people are going to probably disagree with me, I feel could be Cena's last hurrah run as a regular competitor for the WWE. I feel he's probably going to have a schedule that Jericho has.
Yeah. That seems pretty legitimate. I mean, because he probably needs to slow down anyways.
Yeah, he needs to slow down big time. He needs to stay away from any main event title. And he kind of just needs to be in the position where he could put over people.
Right.
He ever does that.
He never does that, exactly. But, again, we'll go back to, I know you hate hearing it, Big Fish, but the whole Triple H becoming CEO of the company, I think Triple H will be one of the first people to tell John Cena, hey, I need you to start putting guys over.
Yeah.
So, and John Cena should, he's putting Big E over backstage. from what I'm hearing, the reason why Big E's getting this push is because Cena's coming back, and Cena's a big fan of Big E Langston. So if Cena's already putting some of these younger guys over, I can't imagine Cena not wanting to put some of these guys over in the ring. So that's my point. We'll just get with the predictions. Del Rio, Cena, for the World Heavyweight Championship. Ryan, starting with you again. What's
Is it
the
Hell in a
pick?
Cell?
John Census beats Del Taco, and then Sandcastle cashes in.
Sandcastle cashes in.
After Del Taco breaks Cena's arm.
So, do you think? So that would mean that Sandow would be face, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been hearing some of those rumors that they're trying to build up Sandow as a face now.
Not a main event. No, definitely not what happened in the main event.
Why?
He faced Ziggler and played the absolute heel.
Yeah, but apparently WWE's told him to stop doing the cartwheel and a lot of his other stuff that got him over as kind of like a cocky heel to build him up as more of a face. So when he makes that face turn, he could bring a lot of those back. So we'll see. Jonesy.
Is it in the cell?
No, it's not so.
It's not a cell match?
It's just a singles match. Yeah, let's throw John Cena into a Hell in a
It's in the cell.
after some surgery.
I'm pretty sure they said it was in the cell.
No,
it's not.
Wikipedia's telling me it's a singles match.
Vicky was teasing Del Rio, like, oh, maybe I'll put it in the cell. But no, she never did.
Yeah.
Why can't they just put all the major championships in the cell? Instead of having,
AJ,
why
you
don't
want
you
match?
fight-
Hell in a Cell match.
Yes.
Come on.
If this is gonna be the
Keep
last,
out the cell.
if this is gonna be the last Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, let's go all out.
What? No. I was thinking Cena and then Sandcastle cashing in.
All right. That would give Cena another World Heavyweight Championship under his belt. We'll see. Wesley.
John Cena wins. Lol. And then
Lol?
Damien from the Open cashes in.
Okay. Another cash-in prediction, and John.
Here we go. My utterly different prediction. Del Rio wins, lol.
Just go straight Del Rio. No cash-in.
No cashing out, go Del Rio. Because what will happen is Cena will be like, oh, blah, blah, I want a rematch. And then Del Rio injures his arm because I don't think this is like a full-time return. This is something just to help get a couple pay-per-views sold.
Okay.
So then Cena's like, look, I've got another challenger for you, someone that you have hurt personally. Out comes Ricardo.
No, out comes Rey Mysterio.
Well, Ricardo's actually been training in NXT in the developmental system. He tweeted that, I think. So it'd be cool if they brought El Local onto main TV.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping. Okay. Last match on the card, and we'll end the podcast. We already know the build-up to this match. It's taken up majority of the time on WWE television. I have a couple complaints. Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan. I only got a couple complaints, not too much. My first complaint, Daniel Bryan hasn't said a damn word. I felt like I haven't heard his voice in a promo shooting on Orton in weeks. We had the contract signing, that was fine. But all Daniel Bryan has ever done has been doing the yes chants. The yes chants and wrestle. That's all I've seen him do. Like, they completely... And I think the bigger problem...
Because all that's been going to Big Show.
Yeah, exactly. All that's been going to Big Show. And Big Show is... And it's stupid because Big Show is stealing a lot of Daniel Bryan's thunder. He's taking the yes chants and he's chanting it in the crowd. That should be Bryan in the crowd. Why is that not Bryan in the crowd?
Because Daniel Bryan isn't Stone Cold
It's
Big Show.
It's ridiculous because this guy is still very over. But I think it's gone to the point where it's not Bryan who's over, it's the yes chant that's over.
I feel that's actually been that way for a long time. I have another complaint about Bryan, though. is that when it came to the contract signing, Bryan didn't really sound passionate. He just sounded like another run-of-the-mill, I'm going to talk down these heels.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with WWE telling them, what to say. A lot of these guys, a lot of these promos are legitimate written down promos. They don't fucking cut promos by themselves anymore. They don't tell them go out there and cut a 10-minute promo.
Well, they're not fueled on cocaine anymore.
I feel like Bryan, some wrestlers should stand up for themselves in that stage, because a lot of them will just accept it. Like, stand up
I
and
know
say,
something, Jane.
I want to cut this promo this way. So that I have passion and shit.
Yeah.
But it seems like Bryan's actually letting himself being pushed around a bit.
Yeah.
It's that we've seen Ziggler's had problems by being too outspoken. But it's not that he's too outspoken backstage, it's to the media. You can be a bit outspoken backstage nowadays.
Do you think Daniel Bryan's probably a little too outspoken backstage? Is that what you're getting at?
I think Daniel Bryan needs to speak more about what he wants.
That makes more sense. It does feel like kind of Daniel Bryan's been put on the back burner. He's an afterthought. Big Show's gotten a better push, and by kayfabe, he's not even employed by the WWE.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a match at Hell in a Cell. Why is he more over, and why is he being more strongly booked than Daniel Bryan?
Because he's basically Stone Cold right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
My problem is
Stone Cold Big Show.
My problem is I feel that they're booking this match between Big Show and Triple H way too early. This match, everything that they've been doing with Big Show should have happened after Hell in a Cell.
Yeah,
I would have been completely fine. Everything that Big Show's been doing now with hijacking the Titantron, driving the truck through the arena, this should have all happened after Hell in a Cell. Because that's what it looks like it's going to be leading up to.
Yeah.
To a Triple H Big Show match. That's what it feels like it's going to be, hitting the high note on. Why are they building this matchup so fucking early when they have an extra 3-4 weeks to build this matchup?
Well, here's the other thing. You know what? He basically won Goldust and Cody the belts from Raw. That was supposed to happen at Hell in a Cell. Wouldn't that feel like such a big pay-per-view moment for Big Show? Missing for weeks. Comes back to save Cody and Goldust and get them the tag titles. But then there'd be no one standing up to Triple H and Stephanie, really.
I don't know. It's really... I feel WWE's really smart about how they've been booking the past couple weeks. Rhodes and Goldust are over as fuck. The Big Show is over as fuck. Daniel Bryan, over as fuck. A lot of these have to be credited to WWE booking them very smartly. They gave... I feel Goldust and the Cody Rhodes, the amount of TV time they got and the build-up, very smart. It still overshadowed Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
If somehow, while both of those feuds didn't even, coexist, except for Daniel Bryan teaming up with Goldust and Rhodes now and then. They weren't together, they're not supposed to be, the same feud, splitting apart. They're two completely different feuds with the same antagonist, Triple H.
Yeah.
And yet still, Cody Rhodes and Goldust took a lot of that thunder away from Daniel Bryan. The only thing that's keeping Daniel Bryan relevant is the Yes Chant, because that's what people connect the Yes Chant to. But then you have Big Show going out and taking the Yes Chant. That's my problem. I don't like that you're taking the one thing that keeps Daniel Bryan over, and you're going to steal it in front of everybody.
Yeah.
You're hurting the guy. You're hurting a guy who's supposedly supposed to be the next Bret Hart.
Jesus. Never said
Ew.
that.
Or the next Stone Cold. Whatever. You're hurting him by doing these stupid things. Why you're building up Triple H and Big Show so early? doesn't make sense. Why you're constantly putting, you're taking Bryan off the mic and just putting him in a ring doesn't make sense. Daniel Bryan, when he attacked Randy Orton and he kicked his ass outside of the ring, he was viciously beating him. That's the Daniel Bryan we should be seeing on the mic.
Yeah.
Why aren't we getting that Daniel Bryan? He has the passion. He's kicking Orton's ass like crazy. He's throwing him around everywhere. Why aren't we getting some of that aggression on the mic? We haven't heard him talking forever.
I didn't know if WWE released that video today of Bryan hyping the match. And it's a lot more passion and much more hype and more focused than what anyone did in this main feud.
Oh yeah, definitely. Everything that they've been putting on YouTube has been smart. Everything that WWE's been putting up onto YouTube and to WWE.com should have been put onto TV. All the sit-down interviews with Triple H, even though that they were really long, you could have cut back on a couple of those and just feature them really quickly on Raw. You know, a lot of those promos and vignettes, you can throw that before after a commercial. Yet they're not doing any of that. They'd rather give us a Santino dressed as Elvis match and
that wasn't the greatest match.
Dude, greatest match of 2013, right there.
They gotta fucking decide. You know, do you want to book a consistent show where you're just gonna throw bullshit at us? You know.
To be honest, the Santino versus Honky Tonk Man feud was pretty good.
So yeah,
honkity man.
Let's get to the predictions. Let's end the show. Ryan, Orton, Bryan for the vacant WWE Championship in the Hell in a Cell with special guest referee Shawn Michaels.
I'm gonna go with the surprise here and say that Kane screws over Daniel Bryan.
Kane?
What?
Yep.
What?
Now you gotta
He
explain.
makes his surprise return.
Now you gotta explain yourself.
Oh.
You see, Kane made his first appearance at Hell in a Cell.
Oh my god.
Okay.
And then they're saying that Kane's supposed to be returning soon.
Okay.
And Kane may or may not be part of the Wyatt family. We do not know.
It would be cool if it was part of the Wyatt family, honestly, but okay.
This could be the way the Wyatt family gets near the main event.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, his explanation makes sense.
It's interesting. It's really...
Kane was friends with Daniel Bryan. Kane, with his confused state of being a Wyatt family member now, may or may not hate Daniel Bryan.
And then you have... the Wyatt family take over the Shield.
There you go.
Because the Shield
is showing weakness.
Because the Shield is getting disrespect from the Authority. But then this is what they should have been booking to. This is what I'm talking about thinking ahead. Very smart idea, Ryan. Give you props.
Yay!
But they should have been... If they would have thought about this, they should have been booking this a while ago. They should have had some tension between the Shield and Triple H. You know?
I thought that.
Hinting at a possible, breakup, rather than just having it randomly happen. Because when you have stuff randomly happen, it doesn't come off the way you want it to come off.
Well, Kane's first show up was kind of...
Yeah,
it was like mesmerizing.
Which one? When he appeared in Hell in a Cell?
His first appearance.
No, but they were booking up to that, though. Remember Paul Bearer was cutting promos on Undertaker. I'm not sure if you watched all the way back, but for a couple weeks, Paul Bearer was talking about Undertaker's history. That's when they started solidifying Undertaker's backstory. As, his brother was...
My brother's alive!
Yeah, they were talking about his mother and how his father died and all that. So
the most complicated, but also best storyline ever.
It wasn't like it came out of nowhere. They were building up to it. You just didn't know when it was going to fucking happen. As long as you're building up to it, it's great. And I think what you said really good. And it can lead, and again, it would lead to a Shield versus Wyatt family match.
Oh.
What?
What if the split doesn't happen straight away? But obviously the Wyatt family have some connection to Triple H because they're literally feuding with everyone who stood up to Triple H. So they're like Triple H's back up to the Shield. And so Trips, if the Shield, say, lose at Hell in a Cell, and we somehow randomly get an Ambrose match, we probably will somehow, and the Shield lose all their titles officially, then Trips goes mental on them on Raw, and the split starts happening slowly but surely. So if that's Survivor Series, that if it's going to be a Team Authority versus Team Bryan match, Trips doesn't ask the Shield, he asks Wyatt Family instead. And then that's how you also then lead into, say, the Fatal 4-Way Tag match.
Here's the
Because
thing.
the Wyatt Family will still be going after Usos as well.
Before even aligning the Wyatt family with Triple H, you have to come up with a way to where it makes sense.
Yeah.
A cult leader isn't going to want to have to listen to anybody else.
Yeah.
You understand? Like,
Yeah, that's
Mike
Power.
Mike made this point a while ago on the podcast. A cult leader doesn't listen to anybody else. Now, if you kind of made Triple H be like, hey, if you kind of had Triple H give power to Wyatt, yet Triple H is still pulling the puppet strings, then you got something going. Like, say, hey, I'm not looking for a unification between two, entities. Let's just be on the same page about this.
Yeah, I want you to take these people out, and that's it.
Yeah, and then that would lead to a Shield Wyatt family feud, and then you get sort of that tension between Wyatt and Triple H, where Wyatt's trying to look for more control, and Triple H knows he can't give Wyatt control.
Yeah, because Wyatt will fucking go mental.
Exactly. It would be great. This is stuff that you just need to think about, and this is thinking ahead, too. You gotta build all this stuff up. You gotta plan and all this. WWE doesn't like planning. WWE is afraid that things will get leaked, and people are just gonna fucking complain on the internet.
The reason I went with, the Kane storyline is because all these conspiracy things are coming up, because his storyline is really weird. And, some of his stuff where he comes back with his mask and with his mask off and on has all been led up, 8 years in the future. He punched a mirror, and that led to 7 years of bad luck. And when those 7 years ended, he came back with his mask off.
You're talking about that?
Rampage.
Yeah, that theory that there's. Yeah, that's more internet looking into things way into that. I'm not sure if WWE ever plans that out. It just kind of happens.
Well, with Kane, it's weird because they actually kind of do plan his stuff.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think it's great, and it would lead to what I've been hoping for. But I was kind of hoping that the Wyatt family versus Shield match would happen much later, closer to WrestleMania. Because I think that would be a more worthy WrestleMania match. Anyways, let's just get the show over with. This has gone a lot longer than I was hoping.
I mean, an hour long.
Yeah, it's been like
it's
an hour.
Almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
We're going to
Jonesy.
make this a 2-hour show.
Jonesy, Oren versus Bryan.
2 hours later.
Sean the Dark, Bryan.
Sean the Dark, Bryan. All right. Wesley.
Daniel Bryan with help from Big Show somehow.
All right. Yeah, I think Big Show's definitely going to get involved somehow, some way.
Also with a little help from Shawn Michaels. Calling it.
I don't know. Something about it. I feel Shawn Michaels is going to be heel. I don't know why. He's going to come out heel because Triple H keeps on saying Shawn's going to do what's best for
business.
What's best for business. Or he's going to do what's right. Where he doesn't really say what's best for business. He says Shawn's going to do what's right.
Right. And he puts emphasis on the right.
Yeah. So Triple H, it definitely feels like they have something planned for Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels isn't just there because to draw ratings. He's definitely going to play a role in that match.
I still wanted Bob Backlund though. That would have been fantastic.
Fucking John. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with overcomplicated bullshit of, like, Big Fish said, Kane comes back to start this build with Wyatt family shit. But then Big Show comes out to punch Kane. But then Michael Sweet Chin tries to get shot.
Now this is too.
You see, the aliens.
Then you got Max Boone
is
coming
actually
in doing some weird shit.
Sister Abigail.
I'm gonna have to go with.
Because fuck you, Brian.
I want to give it to Brian because he's already a 2-time WWE champion. Think about it. He's already a 2-time WWE champion, and in the span of like a day and a half, right? A day and like 20 minutes was like his reign currently in the WWE or for the WWE Championship. So I feel that they kind of need to put the title on him, especially since if it's going to lead up to a Survivor Series match where he's not going to have to defend the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
And they'll probably defend it on Raw someday. I don't know. That would be better because that would mean he'll hold the title for a lot longer. Don't know for how long. But longer. And it'll be a better reign for him. But then there's also a chance for Orton to continue to hold it until like Rumble or something.
Yeah. Can I make my joke prediction now very quickly, actually?
Sure.
Because what happened at an NXT Live event? Bo Dallas running.
Shut up. Shut up.
Believe it.
I think we're done with the show.
Believe in me!
Okay. That's all our predictions. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Very informative show. We got over everything.
The conspiracies.
The conspiracies, the thoughts, everything.
Yep.
But go follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/arcofwrestling. We have a bunch of we're looking for people who can design stuff for us. We need some good designers who are proficient in Photoshop. If you know anybody who can even come up with a theme song for us, please check that out. Please ask your friends, stuff like that. We're looking for that stuff. You could, if you want, you could be a guest on the show for it in return. Blah 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 blah. We're looking for any of that. Yeah, go check out lagspike.tv. Those guys are great. New Legacy, all of them. Top-notch guys. And I guess that's the end of the show. Thank you for joining us. Catch us at the Hell in a Cell. Not at the actual pay-per-view, but we'll be doing a show after Hell in a Cell.
Back in a sec.
Yep. So catch out for the next podcast, which should come out around Sunday or Monday. Okay. See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye!